Hi everyone, my name is Simon Peter, but my friends call me The Rock. Hey, are you tired of life just passing you by? Do you feel like you have no sense of purpose? Have you tried all those things that promise to give you fulfillment? You know, like lots of cash and degrees and a great career, more toy than you know what to do with? Or maybe you've tried all those things and you've realized that they just don't give you what they promise. Maybe you've even been told that if you just get up in the morning and go to the gym and get fit and healthy, you'll be fulfilled, only to find out that even that didn't quite fill that hole that you have. Well, today I want to tell you all about and invite you to join another kind of gym. And I'm also going to introduce you another kind of workout program that will not only give you the fulfillment you long for, but keep you from ever going back to that old life. And guess what? Membership to this gym is absolutely free to you. Why, you ask? Because even if you wanted to pay for it, you couldn't afford it. So that's why the owner's son, who became just like you and me, took upon himself to pay the full cost so that it can be free and clear to you. That's right, you pay absolutely nothing for membership. There's no gimmicks, no hidden fees, and absolutely no exclusion. What's the name of this gym, you ask? Well, I'm glad you asked. Ladies and gentlemen, the name of this gym is God Gym. Just like Gold Gym, but without the L, because there are no losers here. Everyone who joins becomes a winner. And because of God's incredible generosity and grace, He simply invites you into this lifetime opportunity. Where is it located, you ask? Well, there are branches all over town. But as many of our long-term members have recently discovered, when absolutely necessary, you can even get started and experience it right in your own home. Now listen, this gym is a little different than the normal kind of gym you might go to. In most gyms, the idea is to go work on that physical health, to lose weight, to eliminate flab, to get rid of that second and third chin, to increase muscle and flexibility and endurance, to help you become rock solid. But as my good friend Paulie once told his prize student Tim, physical training has some good value, but it's the spiritual training that has the best value, because it not only equips you for what you need to thrive in this life, but also for the life to come. It's training to help you become as much like the owner of the gym as possible. And to help you do that, when you become a lifetime member of this gym, God will give you everything you need to begin living exactly that kind of life. How, you ask? Well, it begins by just getting to know Him, the one who out of His goodness and excellence is offering you this lifetime membership. You heard me right. He is not only offering you membership, but He wants you to have a personal relationship with Him so that you can take advantage of all the promises that He offers to every one of His members. What kind of promises, you ask? Well, check out some of these promises from some of our current members.
When you go through deep waters, I will be with you. When you go through rivers of difficulty, you will not drown. When you walk through the fire of oppression, you will not be burned up. The flames will not consume you.
I will rescue those who love me. I will protect those who trust in my name. When they call on me, I will answer. I will be with them in trouble. I will rescue and honor them. I will reward them with a long life and give them my salvation.
Who listen to me will live in peace, unworried by fear of harm. Proverbs 1:33.
No temptation can overcome you except what is common to everyone, but because He is faithful, He will provide a way to escape it.
Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go.
If you need wisdom, ask our generous God, and He will give it to you. He will not get mad at you for asking.
He gives power to the weak and strength to the powerless. Even youths become weak and tired, and young men will fall in exhaustion. But those who trust in the Lord will find new strength. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint.
Wow, I'm betting some of you could really benefit from some of those promises right now, couldn't you? We all could. These are the promises that help you to share in God's very own nature, to become more like Him than you ever thought possible. But wait, there's more. Along with all these promises, you also have complete access to this library of everything He has taught throughout the ages. He takes you back to the beginning. He tells you the story of when He had to shut it all down and start it all over again. He revealed the biographies of many great men and women who were members of this gym in the early days, whose stories have been written down so that you can learn from their experiences their wisdom, and even some of their gut-wrenching, horrible mistakes made along the way. Some of them would make you cringe. Absolutely nothing is held back. You'll also see many stories of those who rejected the offer of membership. Being a member of this gym is much like that of a physical gym. To help you to get rid of all that negative stuff in your life that drags you down and causes you to get into really bad shape. It happens when we start messing around with things we have no business messing around with. The goal of this gym is to give you the tools to help you socially distance yourself from things like toxic relationships, tempting environment, and terrible decision-making patterns so that you can begin to flatten the curve of sin in your life. And it all begins with, are you ready for this? A free gift. That's right, an absolutely free gift. And here to tell us more about that free gift is my good friend, Paulie.
Thank you, Rock. You're absolutely right about that free gift. As I told my friends in Ephesus, it's only by the act of grace that we gain membership in God's gym. It is made possible through the free gift called faith. This is not a gift that we can manufacture on our own so that we can brag about it.
That's exactly what I tell people too, Paulie, that this faith is given to all of us, Jews and Gentiles, not because of anything we've done, but because He chose to be fair and just by giving us this faith.
Exactly, Rock. But I told some other friends in Philippi, while faith is a gift and this salvation is free, that's just the beginning. Once we receive it, we have work to do. You don't grow muscles just by joining the gym. You have to work at it with a sense of awe and respect for the opportunity you've been given. As we do that, God will be working inside of us to build up those muscles.
Couldn't agree more, Paulie. Thank you, my friend. You know, Paulie is exactly right. The work we put into it shows we truly are members of God's gym. And by working at it, we don't fall back into those lazy old habits that bring back the flab and the guilt and the shame. And that's why, in light of this opportunity for free membership and all the promises and this free gift we are given, is absolutely critical that we make every effort to add to this gift of faith with supplements. In the same way many of you add supplements to your physical routine. Now, when I say supplement, I mean something slightly different than what you might be thinking. You see, it comes from a word which means to choreograph something. So what I'm saying is that because of this incredible opportunity and all the resources you're given, you have the ability and responsibility to choreograph your spiritual and character development. Now, this works best when you work together with other members to help train you and to help spot you. So how do you do that? What do you do to develop these spiritual muscles and ensure that you don't fall back into old habits? Well, that's where this complete workout program comes in. This program is all about adding weight to your faith. The first weight we would add is what we might call moral excellence. Moral excellence. Now, this is about much more than just being morally good. This kind of moral excellence has what you might call a supernatural element to it. And a strong dose of courage would also be included. You see, moral excellence is having the courage to live your life in such a way that it unmistakably fulfills the purpose for which it was created. And others can't ignore the fact that there is something unique and impenetrable about it. It's living in such a way that even if others accuse you of doing wrong, eventually they have to admit their own prejudice and recognize that you walk with Jesus, and then give the credit to God for the change in you. You know, it's not uncommon to hear testimony from a husband or a wife who became a member of God's gym because of the changes that they saw in their spouse who became a member first. Many of you came to Jesus because of behavioral changes in someone else that you knew, and that you knew had to be a result of something or someone beyond themselves. And what you observed in that person is what we would call moral excellence. But we can't stop there. We have to keep learning, which is why our next weight is called knowledge. This is where that library of resources comes in. You can't become stronger or build endurance if you don't take the time to learn how. These words are like nutrition for the soul. You can't have good nutrition, good results without good nutrition. Our friend Paulie that you met earlier taught his students that it is training in these words that eventually make you strong enough to help others. Not only do they give you good nutrition, but it's like having a host of personal trainers by your side 24/7. And just like when we exercise physically, Sometimes we do things that feel like it's the right thing to do, but are really counterproductive. These words and a good spiritual nutritionist help us to know the right diet for our workout regimen. It is filled with testimonies that encourage you to keep going. An old Jewish proverb says that a wise person is hungry for knowledge, while the fool feeds on trash. Now there's other resources out there too, but if they don't point back to this one, they're about as useless as a supermarket tabloid. Increasing your knowledge, though, is not just for information, but it's to help you to exercise wisdom, to gain insight, and to protect us from spiritual leaders that would lead us astray. A little later, I want you to check out these two bits of wisdom. Proverbs chapter 2, verse 6 through 12, and Colossians chapter 1, verse 9 through 10. I promise you won't be disappointed. Hey, have you ever joined the gym in January and then dropped out by April or May? You know why that is? Ultimately, it's about this. Self-control. It's about self-control. It's about being able to master those internal influences and those external, those internal impulses and those external influence, and taking mastery over them. It's about not taking shortcuts or looking for loopholes or being dishonest about your progress or even your lack thereof. These things only hurt you, and sometimes they hurt others too. One writer in here says that a person without self-control is like a city with broken down walls. And what happened when walls are broken down? Well, the enemy finds his way in to destroy the soul. That's why self-control is such a valuable component to your workout program. Now, while self-control helps you to deal with the temptations of life, this next weight helps you to deal with the trials of life. And it's called patient endurance. You see, there are no shortcut spiritual steroids in this journey. Patient endurance is a distinguishing trait of all the members of God's gym. There will be days when you feel like you're getting nowhere, where you feel stagnant in your results. You'll experience failure from time to time, and personal struggle, and yes, even great pain. But as my friend James is known for saying, what you learn in those great moments of pain and through those experiences is that there are new levels of joy that you never would have known without them. So as the old saying goes, no pain, no gain. Now I know that some of these painful experiences are like the gates of hell have been unleashed. Cancer and other diseases, death of a spouse or a child, the heartbreak of a broken relationship, suffering at the hands of a violent abuser, the battle of addiction, the guilt and the shame of past decisions, feelings of isolation and abandonment and depression, mental illness, and the list goes on and on. But those who have been members long enough will tell you that with patient endurance, there is indeed joy at the other end of the tunnel. In fact, it was because of that joy that awaited him that God's own Son patiently endured all the pain that he had to go to pay for your lifetime membership. You are his joy. And the more you patiently endure, the more like him you become. And that's why we call this next weight godliness. Godliness is a very unique word. And it may not mean exactly what you think it means. Most people assume it has something to do with how we act, like the act of being religious. But that's not what it is at all. The word actually means to worship well, not just one day a week, but 24/7, 365. It describes a person who is obviously in awe of the fact that they are constantly in the presence of God. My friend Paul once said that the truest way to show our gratitude for this lifetime membership is to transform the way we think so we can really know what he wants for our life. It's learning to think like Jesus. That's what godliness is. By taking full advantage of this gift and living sacrificially instead of being, like everyone else you meet on the street, you worship well. And when godly thoughts are, in any circumstances, are the first thought instead of an afterthought, then you know that you're making progress. It's when you learn how to approach work as if you are working for God instead of just looking for a paycheck. It's when you respect authority, even if you don't like the one in the position of authority. It's when you show mercy to that person who cuts you off instead of a rude hand gesture. It's when you see that guy or girl as another child of God instead of a sex object. And the list could go on and on and on. When we learn to look for God first in every situation, then we learn to look like God. And when we learn to look like Jesus, then we can learn to love like Jesus. Which brings us to our next two ways. No matter how weak or how strong a person is, whenever they are pushing themselves to get better and get stronger, they should always use a spotter. that the spotter is that person who stands behind you to cheer you on, to help you lift the next rep, or even to help you find rest. The spotter does this because he knows what you're going through. It's an act of brotherly kindness. And that's our next way. It's an act of brotherly kindness because as a brother, he or she sees you and what you're going through and wants to help. They've been where you are. It's time. The ultimate goal of a steady workout in God's gym isn't just to feel good about yourself, though. It's to prepare you for service to everyone else. The brothers and sisters that in the gym with you, as well as those who are not yet members. It is to develop you to the point that you possess unrestricted, unrestrained, and unrequited love. The kind of humble, sacrificial love that denies itself for the person being loved and for the benefit of the one being loved. The kind where love is more than just something you feel, it's something you become, just like your Father, God, who is love. Now, in the early days of my own training, Jesus told us, all of us that were training together, that what we are to do is to learn to love one another in the same way that he loved us. That doesn't happen overnight. It takes work. In fact, it takes hard work, which is our last way. Nothing is ever so easy that you get results without making an effort. This is the workout program that leads to get the results that will make you rock solid, productive, and effective in your spiritual journey. But this is a long-term program that you must make every effort to stay diligent with. If you don't, then you haven't really caught sight of the vision, and you won't see the results you're looking for. But even worse, you also show that you've forgotten that this gift was free to you, and that dishonors the one who gave it to you. Now here are a couple of last promises from me to you. If you do work hard and you follow these steps, then I promise you that you will never fall off the wagon, and you will receive a crown like you never imagined. Not to mention an acknowledgement of a job well done from the one who makes it all possible. And nothing will ever sound as sweet as that. And finally, I promise you that as long as I am in this body, I will do everything I can to remind you of these things and to cheer you on in your journey. Now, if you want to get more information today as to how you can become a lifetime member of God's Gym and begin your own journey, then just follow the information on the screen that comes up next and reach out to us and we'll help you get started. Our lines are open 24/7, but this offer will expire someday. To be honest, we don't know when that day is, but it will expire, so we hope to hear from you soon. In the meantime, stay safe, stay faithful, and stay connected.